Hello, children. I'm happy to connect with you all through this online class. Okay, we'll have a recap of the previous class. You remember what we learned in the previous class? Yes, it's about the atmosphere. We saw about the different layers of the atmosphere. We saw about the difference between weather and climate and the factors that influence weather and climate. In today's class, we are going to learn about the hydrosphere. It's very interesting topic, I believe. Okay.
Hey Z, how are you? You seem to be a little upset. Are you alright? No, TT, I'm not fine. I'm fed up living in Mars. It's too boring out here. There's nothing fun in this place. It's just land. And I want to live somewhere more fun. I want to get out of here. Ah, I get it. Earth would be the right place for you. It is so much fun out there. You know why? There might be reasons like oxygen, nature, humans, but one special feature is it is the only planet which has water. There are beaches, oceans, rivers, lakes, ponds, and much more. Wow! I cannot wait to get there. How about you? Would you like to join me? Sure thing. Alright, let's go.
Okay. Which planet is known as blue planet? Yes, it is Earth as we all know. Earth is known as the blue planet of the solar system. It is called blue planet because it contains more than half percent of water, which makes its color blue. Earth is the only planet in the solar system that has a large amount of liquid water. About 74% of the Earth's surface is covered by liquid or frozen water. Because of this, people call it the blue planet. And because of its water, Earth is home to millions of species of plants and animals. Hydrosphere is the total amount of water on the planet. The hydrosphere includes water that is on the surface of the planet, underground, and in the air. A planet's hydrosphere can be liquid, vapor, or ice. On Earth, liquid water exists on the surface in the form of oceans, rivers, and lakes. Now we will see the distribution of the Earth's water, how the water is being distributed over the Earth. The distribution of water on the Earth's surface is extremely uneven. Only 3% of water on the surface is fresh. The remaining 97% resides in the ocean. Of fresh water, 69% resides in glaciers, 30% underground, and less than 1% is located in lakes, rivers, and swamps. Only 1% of the water on the Earth's surface is usable by humans. "99% of usable quantity is situated underground." Now we'll see about the hydrological cycle. Is the Earth's water static? No, it is always in the process of moving. Hydrological cycle, also known as the water cycle, describes the continuous movement of water on, above, and below the surface. There are three major processes involved in the water cycle. They are evaporation, condensation and precipitation. In simple terms, if I explain hydrological cycle, I can say these are water bodies from where water evaporates, formation of clouds takes place, then you have rainfall that occurs, and finally that rainfall goes back to the ocean and the cycle continues. Fresh water. What is that fresh water? Water resources of the earth can be divided into fresh water and salt water. Rainwater is considered to be the purest form of water as it contains very less proportion of salts when compared to the oceans and seas. Hence it is called fresh water. Fresh water makes up a very small fraction of all water on the planet. While nearly 70% of the world is covered by water, only 2.5% of it is fresh. Over 68% of the fresh water on Earth is found in ice caps and glaciers. Around 1% is found in liquid state as rivers, oceans, ponds, lakes, etc. Surface water penetrates through porous rocks. Porous means small holes through which liquid or air may pass through. Thus, surface water gets collected beneath the Earth's surface. This is called groundwater. We'll see about oceans. Ocean is a continuous body of salt water that covers more than 70% of the Earth's surface. Are the continents and oceans evenly distributed? No, it is not evenly distributed in the northern and southern hemisphere. The level of water in the northern hemisphere is 61%. The level of water in the southern hemisphere is 81%. The southern hemisphere has more water than land, comparing with the northern hemisphere. It is because of this pattern of land and water distribution, the northern hemisphere is called as the land hemisphere and the southern hemisphere is called as the water hemisphere. Relief of the ocean floor. Similar to the continental landforms, oceans also contain a variety of landforms. There are mountains, basins, plateaus, ridges, canyons, and trenches beneath the ocean water. Ocean relief is formed due to tectonic, volcanic, erosional, depositional process and their interactions. Now we are going to look into the major ocean relief features. The 6 major divisions of the ocean relief are continental shelf, continental slope, continental rise, deep sea plain, oceanic deep, and oceanic ridges. Let's see the first characteristic feature, continental shelf. A shallow and gentle sloping platform extending from the adjoining continental mass into the sea is called continental shelf. In simple words, a continental shelf is the edge of a continent that lies under the ocean. It is a uniform zone of seabed with a gentle gradient or slope. The importance of continental shelf. Since it is shallower, enables sunlight to penetrate through the water. Marine foods like grass, seaweeds and plankton comes almost from continental shelf. They provide richest fishing grounds. Extensive deposits of minerals and mineral fuels are found here. 20% of the world production of petroleum and gas comes from continental shelf. Hence, the zone becomes accessible for oil drilling and mining activities. The second characteristic feature is continental slope. It is a steep slope which descends from the edge of the continental shelf to the deep ocean bed. This connects the continental and the ocean basins. This is free from deposits as they are steep. The important characteristics of continental shelf is the presence of deep canyons and trenches. A canyon is formed by water erosion and trench is formed by the action of tectonic plates. Continental slope has freezing temperature due to the low penetration of sunlight. It has very less aquatic life. Then continental rise. What is this continental rise? At the base of the continental slope, a gentle sloping layer of sediments which merge into the deep sea floor. The continental rise is the region along the base of the continental slope. This feature is formed by a thick layer of sediments brought by the nearby continent that rest on the oceanic crust. The underwater feature found between continental slope and abyssal plain is called the continental rise. It consists of submarine fans which are similar to alluvial fans on land. Deep sea plains or abyssal plain, they are underwater places found on the deep ocean floor. It extends from continental rise to the mid-oceanic ridges. It appears as a uniform, flat and featureless plains. It is covered by thick layer of sediments composed of clay, silt and sand brought by rivers. This is characterized by features like abyssal hills, sea mounds, guyats, coral, etc. Oceanic deep. They are also called as oceanic trenches. Trenches are deepest part of the oceans and occupy 7% of the total relief of the ocean. Ocean temperature here is slightly slower than freezing temperature. Here there are sediments are very less, T-shaped with steep sides, and epicenter of the earthquake are found here. The famous trench called Mariana Trench, which is found in the West Pacific Ocean, is the deepest oceanic trench on the earth. The last feature is the oceanic ridge. It is a continuous underwater mountain range with parts found in every ocean of the world. It is made of young basalt rocks and is formed when two tectonic plates moves apart. It is the most extensive single feature of the Earth's topography. The two most well-known mid-oceanic ridges are the Mid-Atlantic Ridge and the East Pacific Ridge. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge is the largest unbroken oceanic ridge. Children, I hope you all understood and enjoyed the lesson. For better understanding, read pages 192 to 195. And don't forget to watch the enrichment video. Goodbye, children.